Hi, everybody. Okay, we are back together again. We are on my laptop and we will be looking over a little bit of the things that we'll be doing. I'll be stepping you through just a little bit through kind of how the course is set up and how things can work out best for you. Okay, so here's the welcome page. You should have already seen this and you should have already watched this video. It is a URL that takes you to YouTube. I didn't really feel like putting a whole bunch of videos on the school website was probably a good idea, but I may change how I do that depending on what I'm told about the best way to provide you with videos will be. Let's jump here to the course syllabus and class schedule. You'll need to look at these and review them and understand them before you can do the next thing in the list of things to do, which is the mandatory course enrollment activity. So if you click on the syllabus link, it will download the Word document of the syllabus, and it will give you all the information that you need to have related to the class. It'll give you, how the class meets. This should all be very basic and familiar to you. How many credit hours, any kind of co-recs or any kind of prerequisites that might be in place, and the dates through which the class will run. Next, and of super important importance, is the no-show date, the census date, which is 8/28. If you do not do this thing right here, the mandatory course enrollment activity, by that date, you will be removed from the class. You will not be able to stay in the class, and you could have serious repercussions with financial aid. And you don't want to tangle with financial aid because they will mess somebody up. So do not miss the cutoff date for the activity. Here's my email address. Here's my name. I try to respond to emails within one business day. Please email me versus try to call me. I don't have a phone number at the school because I am an adjunct. I don't have an office at the school because I am an adjunct. My office is, I guess, basically my car at this point. So if you need to see me, if we need to get together, I am going to be on campus for some other classes. I am teaching 9 classes this semester, so my time is at a premium. So we can work something out where we'll meet online or we'll meet face-to-face, either one. But it might take a little bit of back and forth in order for us to do it. Here's the catalog description. I'm going to run through this syllabus pretty quickly because you can look over it at your leisure, as if you have a leisure time, I know. Here are the outcomes. All the things that we're going to do in class can be related to these learning outcomes, and by the time you get to the end of the class, you should be able to do these things. Students who are most successful in this course come at the course with an open mind, with a growth mindset, with the willingness and the ability to ask questions and to actually do the work that's laid out, including the work that you think nobody knows whether or not you're doing it. And I want you to think about that for just a second. The behind the scenes of Moodle or Blackboard or any of these LMS software that schools are using, we can tell exactly what you have done on our course, how much time you've spent on one thing or another, whether or not you completely skipped something, whether or not you did part of something. So try not to play fast and loose with the LMS because it will bite you in the behind if you get called on the carpet. We can see everything. So please approach each new assignment with an open and growth mindset and ask questions. Check the course schedule often. Log into the LMS daily. I think daily might be a little much, but I would say more often than just once a week. You want to make sure that you complete all the activities, whether or not they're formally graded. You want to make sure you have some basic computing skills. You need to be able to attach a document. You need to be able to function in Word. You need to be able to do those things in order to get by in college, whether it's at a community college, in graduate school, whatever. You need to have these basic computer skills. You need to be able to use critical thinking, creative thinking, and problem solving skills. We'll talk some more about critical thinking. Well, we'll talk some more about all of three of those things, but critical thinking is a skill that is sadly lacking for a lot of folks, and it's something that schools are very interested in teaching. I wish that it had been something that they had taught when I was in school, but they didn't. I think that even if you are not specifically taught critical thinking skills, if you succeed in your class, that means that you're kind of absorbing them by osmosis. But they will be much more helpful if you actively go and look for them and focus on them and try to, make them stronger. And finally, have strong time management and planning skills. This is the biggest thing, I think, for students who do online classes. If you don't have good, strong time management and planning skills, this class is going to be a real problem for you. So before we even get started, you want to make sure that you have a copy of the calendar, which we're going to look at that next. And you want to make sure that you have a plan going into this semester for how you're going to do this stuff. Do you know that you have a week where things are going to be really crunch time for you, whether it's at work or with your kids or your parents or whatever? Do you have a week where you know things are going to be really difficult? Well, then you want to make sure you get your work done for class ahead of time. You need to plan. And if you don't have a good plan coming into an online class, things will run off the rails really quickly. Here are your two textbooks. One of those textbooks you already have access to. It is a PDF on Moodle, and I'll show you how to get to it. The other one is the Little Seagull Handbook with exercises, and we will be making use of that throughout the semester, both of those throughout the semester as well. Let's see. You need to plan to do 3 to 6 hours a week focused on your coursework. And that's actually, you might think that's an awful lot, but all schools and colleges and universities kind of have that expectation of their students, depending on how many semester hours you're taking. You should do 3 to 6 hours outside of class per credit hour. So this right here is actually kind of low. Most schools expect you to do somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 6 hours per credit hour per week. So like I said, have a plan. Obviously, treat others as you want to be treated. We should never be frightened of ideas. We should always explore those ideas and understand them fully before we reject or accept them. And you can't do that if you don't have respect for others and the ideas that they think are important. Don't forget that IT exists. They can help you with any of these things that you might be struggling with. I mean, technologically speaking, they're not going to help you write your paper, but they can certainly help you get to the stuff that you need to get to. This is the grading breakdown and the way that the grades are distributed. It's a 10-point scale, which is pretty standard. Your essays will count 55% for all three of them. It will add up to 55%. You have a journal that you'll keep all semester. You'll write every week. That's 15%. Your quizzes, you'll have 3. they'll be 10%. Your class assignments will be 10%, and then your final assessment will be 10%. You need to make sure that you don't, sleep on some of these assignments. The lower level percentage stuff is intended to give you practice. It's not intended to be a huge part of your grade, as you can see by the 10% or the 5% or whatever it is. The essays are supposed to be the biggest part. But just because something's 10% doesn't mean you want to just, forget about it. So we have 3 essays, as I said. The first one's narration, where you'll tell a story. The second one is research. You'll do an argument that's backed by research. And this is my favorite unit to teach. I love research. I love writing, but I love research. I love being able to back up a claim. I love to talk about the various ways that we can determine what is a good resource and what's not. So I'm very much looking forward to that one. Unit 3 has to do with reflection, and that's going to be a very short unit. It's at the very end of the semester. These are the skills that you're going to need to be able to practice and demonstrate proficiency in. Now, let's talk about ChatGPT, AI, that kind of thing. Just as a general rule, please stay away from it when it comes to college and any work that you submit. If you are using ChatGPT to summarize a reading for you, that would probably be fine. You're going to miss some of the things that you would get through a closer reading, probably. And also, AI is not always correct. So if you pin all your hopes on AI, you might wind up, really in the ditch. If you use ChatGPT or any of the AI models to write an essay, it's going to show up. I've been reading student essays since roughly 2004. Do the math. If you add up how many years that is and how many semesters that is, and you figure that there's at least 20 students in each class, I don't want to do the math to tell you how many essays I have read, because that's just, I don't do math very well. That's why I'm, an English teacher. But that's a lot of student essays that I've read. And from a general standpoint, just from a 5,000-foot view, first year writing students generally don't write like ChatGPT does, and there are some real red flags that pop up. We're going to talk a little bit in class about how you can go about making sure that your butt is covered if you get accused of using ChatGPT and you really didn't, because that's going to be, I think, something that you'll need to do going forward, because the models that are out there for teachers to use to quote unquote prove that students have used ChatGPT are not that great. And I would hate to see anybody get challenged on something that they've written and then have it turn out to not be the case that they actually did write it, So we're going to talk about ways that you can make sure that that you can prove a negative, essentially, that you can prove that you actually did the work. We'll talk about that together, but just be aware right now, ChatGPT, and I use that to kind of take the place of any kind of AI. That's kind of become the term that's like Xerox, that stands in for copy. But for our purposes, ChatGPT, AI, any of those things that do the work for you are not okay, and you may not use them. Here are some descriptions of some of the activities we're going to be doing. Please do not turn in late work if you can avoid it. You will lose a lot of points for every day that it's late. And if it's 5 calendar days late, you may not turn it in at all. Classwork and LMS work are due as assigned, and you can't turn those in late. Part of the reason that that's the case is that I'm teaching 9 classes, and I can't deal with late work very well. It's just, it will be overwhelming. So don't turn in late work and you won't run afoul of this. Make sure that you submit your work in Word or in PDF if it's in something else like Pages or anything else. And for the love of God, definitely not some link that goes to Google Docs, okay, or Google Drive. Please, please, please don't do that. I will give you a 0 and I will let you resubmit it, but it's still gonna be considered late. So make sure it's in the correct format. You want to make sure that it's in MLA format and that it's in the correct document format as well. I'll be taking attendance every week, and I will do that based on the work that you submit for that week. So don't think that there's not an attendance policy just because this is an online class. There is. Please don't think that you can do all the work at the end of the semester and be fine, because you can't. There are deadlines, and those deadlines are enforced, just like the attendance policy is enforced. Let's see. Here's the no-show date again. Some more information about that. This is a 100% online class, so you must complete that assignment before the due date that's associated with it. Otherwise, you'll be reported as a no-show and you'll be withdrawn. And then, like I said, financial aid will come after you and, want some blood. There's a withdrawal policy here, and we have a date, the last date that you can withdraw from a course, and that's on the school calendar, and I'll make sure that's on here as well. Here's some information about academic dishonesty. It has to do with cheating, plagiarism, etc., etc. Basically anything where you're doing something that you wouldn't want to tell your grandma that you did, you want to just stay away from. You can indeed self-plagiarize. If you look at this last one down here, I've had students who have written papers for a class and then failed the class and tried to turn those papers in to my class, and that's not going to work. Self-plagiarism is the use of one's own previous work in another context without citing that it was used previously. So if you write something for another class and you want to submit it here as well, you have to let me know and we'll have to talk about it. If you submit the essay just without telling me, it's going to come up in the non-plagiarism software that Mitchell uses. I have put a schedule here for you. It is a tentative schedule. I may need to shift things around a little bit. I hope not, because it's a very involved schedule. I've tried to make it as clear as humanly possible, but it is here at the end of the syllabus, and it is also listed here. And really, this is the preferred one. I mean, it's good to have it at the end of the syllabus, but really, who needs all that? Just download this, and you will have the whole schedule. Okay, if you print this off, you will see each week we have a number of things to do. Like, for instance, for this first week, you will want to do the following things, and you can check these off just like it's a to-do list. Do the MCEA. Do journal number 1. Read chapter 2, pages 12 through 17 in the Guide to Writing, and then look at pages 2 through 5 in the Little Seagull Handbook. Do the ad analysis. Review the information posted about subjects and verbs and prepositional phrases, and then do the subjects and verbs assignment. These are all going to be due Sunday night. Now, unless I specifically say otherwise, everything is due Sunday night of that week at midnight. So this is Monday, and then your work is due at the end of that week at midnight. Don't wait until the last minute, because you never know. You might lose internet. The school's website might be slow. There's no telling what might happen. So don't wait until the last minute. I do not accept, oh my God, my computer crashed, as an excuse. I will commiserate with you that your computer crashed, but you will get no benefit in terms of an extension. That's not a legitimate problem. You can go anywhere and get access to the internet, and you can go anywhere on campus to any of the labs and get access to a computer. So there's always a way to get your work done. So as you can see, it's broken down by weeks. And I give you the due date, and I give you each one of the things that are, that you'll want to do. Now right here, if you look at week 4, there are a number of different due dates here. We have a couple of things going on. You've got the journal, but you've also got a review of Unit 1 to help you prepare for the test. And if you want me to give you some feedback, I need to have it by a certain date. The Unit 1 test won't open until the specific day that I say on here. Unit 1 test will open on Wednesday and is due by midnight, Sunday, September 15th. So make sure that you are aware each week of what your due dates are, and if there are any due dates that might run kind of counter to what we ordinarily do. I will try to bring focus to that, but you want to make sure that you know that for sure. So I've got all of our work pretty much laid out here. I did want to mention that here towards the end, we have a final week 16, and that's when you're, we're tying up all the loose ends, and then you have a final exam. I have here that it's due on December 12th by midnight. That may not be the correct day. I have to double check it and confirm it. And make sure that I've got the right date there. So write that down in your planner in pencil if you work that much ahead. Okay, I think that should do it for this week. You have got plenty to do this week, but you should be able to handle all of these things, without a whole lot of input from me. But just in case you do want some input, just yell, and I will be happy to make that I will be happy to meet with you. We can talk about it, or I can do another video and post it. But I think that we're off to a pretty good start here. Oh, and one more thing. Where's the book, you might be asking? The book is over here on the left of your screen. And don't forget that there are links to, some of these how-to things here as well. Where's the book? There it is. Here's the PDF. You might want to just go ahead and download this and not depend on having to come back and grab it every time. Just download the thing and then you've got it. But it's right there. It doesn't take much time at all to download it. And then you'll have it on your laptop or what have you. So that should do it. Just email me right here if you need some help with anything, and I will look forward to meeting you all at some point on campus and getting to know you on our website. Have a happy start to the semester, y'all.